Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Mr. Khan.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, it's a pleasure seeing everybody again today on this beautiful Shabbat. I enjoyed myself doing the Feast of Sukkot. Actually, still in the Feast of Sukkot. But I really enjoyed myself getting the chance to, watch and connect with everybody. And I had a beautiful, beautiful time. I can't say that enough. And it got really, touchy for me because when it was about time for us to go, I was like, wow, because I really had such a nice time. And I just want to thank all the sisters here for such a great job. Shaya, we have Parag, we have a sister here, Shammai, Messiah, and Catherine. You guys did just such a great job. I think we have the best Israelite sisters in the congregation of Yashra'al. We really did a great job. Those of you out there in the YouTube land, Facebook land, listen, you know what? Nobody puts it down with the fish the way that our sisters do. I mean, the fish was off the chain, nice and hot and crispy, so we had a real nice time. I'm still doing the Feast of Sukkot. I got the tent up at the house. I'm still in the backyard. I mean, just enjoying it. I mean, it's really, really nice. Still doing my thing. But again, it's a pleasure seeing everybody here today, and we're going to continue to grow in one accord. And there's bigger and better things coming. So, the group that we have is good that we have the group that we have. So we're not so much looking for numbers maybe right now, but the quality. So just being able to depend and have everybody helping, putting up the tents and helping with the cooking, putting things away. This is what this tight-knit family is all about. So I can really, really appreciate everything that everybody has done helping one another during the Feast of Sukkot. I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. Really. Right? Anybody have any testimonies? Because it was hard for me to go back to work, man. It really was. Because being around this environment, it's like going back now into the world and have to deal with so many different personalities and the vibrations and things like that. So it was kind of hard for me, man, getting myself back into the other side. So I really enjoyed myself. I just can't say that enough. Anybody else? Great. Hallelujah.
Great.
Hallelujah. I am so glad.
I want to thank the Father, for giving me the opportunity to experience that. Like you said, being together, tabernacling with each other, learning how to live amongst each other and help each other. These are the things that we're preparing for, because there's some things that's getting ready to come down, as we know.
Absolutely.
And we might have to depend on each other, just like how we depended on each other at Sukkot. So I definitely want to say I enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Absolutely.
And to living, amongst each other like the Qumran community. It was nice, man. It was nice. Hallelujah. Torah to the Father.
Sisters, anybody else have any testimonies?
Well, I think this time was a real learning experience because we had to deal with the storm. And so there were a lot of things that, like this time, I knew I was going to be prepared from last coat. This time, it was the whole weather factor that was added on top. So that was just another layer of preparation.
Absolutely.
Because the book says, may flight not be in the winter.
Exactly.
So we got to experience that.
Absolutely. It was like all hands on deck. Everybody, is trying to put up the tents and the canopy and everything like that. Nobody was being lazy. Anybody that was asked to do something, we did it.
That's it.
Wow.
I like that we all just, like you said, if something to be done, you just ask somebody or somebody was already doing it. We all pitched in, and it felt effortless. It didn't feel like, oh, this is a burden, I'm the only one doing it. Everyone was taking turns doing something different.
Absolutely.
Definitely agree with my pieces of experience, especially the storm. But I really enjoyed being with everyone, just tabernacling. It was really relaxing. Even though we did work, it felt more relaxing. And to your point, I don't want to go back Monday.
It was lovely. Everybody sharing, it was good. Very good. Excellent.
Catherine came back while she went to work, came back, jumped in, and Sabu came. So I just love that we all were still just vibing. We talked about scripture, politics, life, everything. So it was nice.
It was.
It was very therapeutic.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Getting away from the cities,
Yeah.
all the loud noises. The only noise we had to hear is just ourselves.
Yeah. And the angry squirrel.
Yeah.
Can't leave him out.
Can't leave out the angry squirrel.
It's lovely. Real nice, real nice. Anybody else? Okay. What we're going to do from here is we're going to have our Chief Zaken to blow the shofar 7 times, and I'll break us in with prayer. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the state of the Father, of Yahuah, forever and ever. Hallelujah. 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 Okay. Mr. McCobb, today we're going to be going over some information on the 8th day. We've been going over the 7th month festivals for the last couple of weeks, and we just want to make sure again that you get a nice understanding on how important the festivals are. The title of today's class is Yahuah's Rest of Eternity, the 8th day. All right, Yahuah's Rest of Eternity, the 8th day. Before we get started, we want to make sure that we give all the esteem. And I say all esteem, we must make sure that we give all esteem to the Father of Yahuah for his mercy, his love, his compassion, and his long suffering for his people, the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel. And finally, his ultimate love gift, Yahusha Mashiyach, who is and was an atoning sacrifice for the nation of Yashra'al. That is very, very important. So the feast days, the Father's ultimate love gift, Yahushua HaMashiach, is going to be very, very important. Without the salvation plan, we are in trouble. So, Mr. Kai, I have some notes here that I put together, and I'm going to be reading from my notes here a little bit today, so that we can try to get a nice understanding on what is actually going on here. What is going on? The mystery behind the number 8. The mystery behind the number 8. The number 8 represents eternity. It alludes to a departure from the physical world, which is the number 7, into the spiritual realm of the world of the number 8. So we will take our time with this here, whatever we don't finish today, we'll do it tomorrow. We have the number 7, which represents the natural world. And the number 8 represents eternity. This is what we have, the spiritual realm. And our goal as Hebrew Israelites in understanding the salvation plan of the Father is to move from this terrain to this terrain, and to move into a place of eternity. Now, the Hebrew gematria, a letter for the number 8, is we have the ket, and in the ancient Hebrew we have it this way. The ket. Let's write this underneath here. This will be very important. Making sure that we understand the Hebrew and look at everything from a Hebraic perspective. Now, the 8th letter, the ket, means to fence. It means to protect, to keep in, or to keep out. And we all know the situation with the Garden of Eden. Adam was placed in the garden. He was told to protect the garden. He was in a protective environment, and he was told to guard anything that was disagreeable from entering inside of the garden. So that ket is very important. And again, it means to fence, to protect, to keep in, or to keep out, to enclose, as in the Garden of Eden. Now, this is my disclaimer. Everyone is important in this Hebraic walk. Everyone. Both the man and the woman. One is not without the other. Because again, this number 8 is going to be very important. And again, my disclaimer is that we're not all equal. But my disclaimer is that we all must work together in order to make this function. Now, the first scripture that I want to go to is the book of Corinthians. The book of Corinthians. Because we're not without one another. That's the point that we're going to try to make here. But at the same time, there has to be order. We have 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. And I'm going to read verses 8 through 12. Everybody has it? Hallelujah, told? Okay.
You said what about
1 Corinthians, the 8th chapter.
11th chapter.
Let's read the 11th chapter, verses 8 through 12. 1 Corinthians 11th chapter, verses 8 through 12. It says, for the man is not of the woman. So we all know the creation story. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Now, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the messengers. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman. So we see how this goes here. So we need each other here. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man, in the Father of Yahuah. Verse 12. For as the man is of the woman, for as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of the Father. So it's very important for us to understand how this whole thing works. Again, in order for us to function properly as a family, as a Mishpachah, we must work together. And we demonstrated that, I believe, very, very well at the Feast of Tabernacles out there in the wilderness. All working together in love and harmony. And so that whole picture there was a picture of eternity. That is how it's supposed to function. In peace, shalom, in happiness. No bitterness and no biting. No fighting amongst one another. However, the very first time we see the number 8, and the number 8 represents eternity, forever. It also represents covenant. But let me write these things down because I want this on. The number 8 represents, number 1, eternity. is one number higher than 7. It represents forever. Covenant. Agreement. Marriage. All this now coincides with this number 8. And to prove some of the things that we're saying here, let's go to the book of Bereshit, the 17th chapter. The book of Bereshit, the 17th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 9. Bereshit, the 17th chapter, verse 9. Watch how important this is. And Elohim said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant. And the word covenant is brit, it's a cutting. Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore you and your seed, which means his progenitors, after you and their generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and your seed after you. So this is an everlasting covenant. Watch how this turns out. Every man-child, very important, every man-child among you shall be circumcised. And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin. It shall be a token, which is important now, a token of the covenant between me and you. So this is an agreement, and the number 8 also represents a contract. This is a contract. And when we say marriage, we're talking about a ketubah. So all of this is extremely important as the Father now is outlining specific instructions for Abraham. Read verse 11 again. And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days. So this is the very first time we see the importance of the number 8. Again, the number 8 represents eternity, forever, covenant, agreement, marriage, a ketubah, contract. Let me just do this here, just in case we have some. This A also goes this way, the E. And he which is the male that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generation. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed. So this is an everlasting covenant, an agreement. This is a token of the covenant the Father has with the nation of Yashra'al, and it started with Abraham. And so this number 8 now represents eternity. This is something that we all must do. Okay, we're talking about the males here. Now, this is so important is that Scripture teaches us that even when the new kingdom is, and we go over that, when the new kingdom is reestablished, there must be a circumcised heart, and the males must have the circumcision also in the foreskin. So that number 8 is extremely, extremely important. The book of Leviticus. The book of Leviticus, the 22nd chapter. Vayikra, Leviticus 22, verse 7. So I got that right. actually Leviticus the 15th chapter, verse Leviticus the 15th chapter, verse 19, excuse me. Leviticus the 15th chapter. Start at the 19th verse. It says now, watch how, because we need to understand too now about the number 8 and impurity versus now the cleanness. It says, if a woman now have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sitteth, when she toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers, and Hebrew word for flowers is nida, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. And all the bed whereupon she lieth shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, which is the 7 days, if she goes beyond that time, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean as uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days. And after that she shall be clean. After the 7 days she shall be clean. Verse 29. On the 8th day, so we see the 8th day now with Abraham in the circumcision for the male, and how the male came into covenant relationship with the Father. The number 8 represents eternity. Again, forever, covenant, agreement, marriage, ketubah, contract. And we can also write down renewal, or to restore. Very important. And on the 8th day she should take of her 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons, and bring them into the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest now, who acts as the mediator, he's the mediator, and the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering. So during this time of the woman's leader, she has to make an atonement, and the priest is now acting on her behalf, and he shall offer now the sin offering for her, and the other one for a burnt offering. The priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahuah for the issue of her uncleanness. Now, we'll get into this a little bit later. My argument is that there was more than a conversation that the adversary had with Eve. There was a lot more that's going on here. Verse 30 says a lot, and not too many people look at actually what happened, was going on in verse 30. And I'll read it again, and we'll leave it food for thought. And the priest should offer the one for a sin offering, and the other one for a burnt offering. So that sin offering and that burnt offering is going to be very important. the priest should make an atonement for her before Yahuah for the issue of uncleanness. So once this is done on the 8th day, she is now considered in a realm of eternity, forever, covenant, agreement, marriage, a contract, renewal, and restored. Very important. So the number 8, again, you see the significance behind what's going on there. Let me just backtrack here a little bit. Let me just check something here. Okay. The next scripture that we want to look at is Leviticus, the 9th chapter, Luke, the 9th chapter. Luke, the 9th chapter, chapter 9. I'm going to read verses 27. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, we'll wait till we're done there. Listen to what the Mashiyach is saying here to his Talmudim. But I tell you of a truth, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of Elohim. And it came to pass about 8 days after, okay, again, this is very important. He's talking to the Talmudim. He's talking about some of them are not going to see death until they see the kingdom of Elohim. And it came to pass about on the 8th day, or 8 days after these sayings, he took Peter, John, and James, and went up into a mountain to pray. And as he prayed, he fashioned his countenance was altered, and his raiment was white and glistening. And behold, there talked with him 2 men which were Moses and Elijah. Moses and Elijah, 2 very important people here. I'm going to erase this here. If we can get, Torah, please, if you can start that over for me again, Luke, the 9th chapter, verses 27 to 36.
Luke 9:26.
9:27.
But I tell you of a truth, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death, till they see the kingdom of Elohim.
All right, that's very important. Until they see the kingdom of Elohim.
And it came to pass about in 8 days after these sayings, he took Peter and John and James and went up until the mountain. Okay, so we have Peter, Kepha, we have James, right? Yaakov, and who else? Peter, John, and James.
And John. Yahuah. All right, so it says about 8 days later. Right off the top, where do you see this is all going? We'll be talking about 8 days later. What do you believe might have been the first day if he's saying 8 days later? No problem. We're going to find it in the next couple of verses here.
And as he prayed, the fashion of his countenance